It's interesting being in this position, book coaching, because the same things come up over and over and over and over again with authors and aspiring authors. And the main thing that keeps coming up with people is they get stuck because they feel like their book needs to be a certain way,
Yeah.
but their head says it has to be this way, but their heart says something else. They feel like, I want to do it this way, but the things I've read or things I think or things that people say make me feel like it's supposed to be this other way. And then they get stuck and they get paralyzed. And the key is always just to let go of whatever preconceptions you have or whatever somebody else has said and just do whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
And then you can change it later. You can fix it later. You don't have to get it right the first time. The first draft, there's a reason why we call it the vomit draft. It's a
Mhm.
mess, and then we clean it up later. So just do whatever you feel like doing now. Just do something and then change it later if you want to change it later. But leave it for later. Leave all the details for later.
Do you do reviews once it's like written and there is a draft, or is there like a separate? I remember a couple months ago you mentioned about like other resources and having like hired copywriters or like editors to review.
Yeah, if you want an in-depth review where somebody really goes through it and takes several hours to go through it and really figure out like what needs to be changed, that
Mhm.
would be called a developmental edit, probably
Mhm.
for you.
Mhm.
And you would hire an editor to do that. Now, if you want to bring it here to this call and have me run through it for 10 or 20 minutes with everybody else or something like that, more than happy to do that. And then we can get feedback from the group. You can also post it in the online group and say, hey, is anybody willing to review this? Take a look at it. And whatever feedback you have, I'd love to hear it. You can also do that in the group. So there are
Mhm.
multiple ways to get that feedback. Um, and you may not need to actually go hire a developmental editor to do that. Maybe the questions you'll have could be answered just with a few minutes of feedback.
Yeah, I think once I have something together, I just would love different opinions of just like thoughts of how it comes to read to different people
Mm-hmm.
outside of just, my circle that sees me every day and just wants to support, just kind of like a very objective review. So
Yeah. Yeah. And we want to support you too, but we want to support you by being as objective as
honest.
we can and
Yeah.
giving you honest feedback that will help you. So, I mean, I'd love to have you bring it here and I'd love to go through it with you if that's something you're comfortable doing.